Hello class, I'm wanting to do a little quick video over Access. Some of you are having some issues with having it look different and all that. So the whole issue with Access is an application software that's used for data storage and then to work with that data in many different ways. So I am on page 4. This is the purple section of our textbook on Access, section 1, activity 1.1, and that first part has you going over different parts of the screen. So we're going to open up our WE Distributors 1 file as it says on step 6, page 4. So I'm going to find my all student data files folder, and this time we're going to get into our Access folder, and we're going to look at Access section 1 and find our WE Distributors 1 folder. Alright, so this database file has lots of tools in it that we can use to work with. So this is already created for us. I'm going to enable content, that yellow bar at the top, to allow me to work with the information in there. And yes, I'm going to say it's trusted. Alright, so on this, it has you going over the screen area on page 5. So again, we have our ribbon at the top. It looks similar to what we've worked with in the past in Excel and in Word. Of course, the tabs and our groups of tools, our buttons, are going to be specific to this program, so they're going to differ a little bit. So we have home, create, external data, and database tools. This is what we're going to get used to over here on the left hand side. This is that navigation pane on the left hand side that gets us our objects to work with. So the idea with Access is that our table is, or our data is stored in tables. So for this database it's already created, we have a movies table, we have an orders table, we have a US distributors table. Then once we have our data, we can make other objects with it. Objects might be a query, it might be a form, it might be a report. Again, they've already created some objects to allow us to work with them. What I don't like is that we're working with the same names on these objects, so it's kind of confusing. In previous versions, they had us label it with that type of object and then the name. So it would be TBL movies, TBL orders, QU or QRI orders by city, and I wish they would continue to do that, but they quit doing that. So I'm going to flip, or they have us actually opening up. Double click. Okay. It says open up the US distributors in the tables group. So I should be able to see all 4 different types of objects. I'm in my tables group, and I'm going to double click US distributors, which opens it up into my work area here on my screen. So now we have records of data. So for example, company name All Night Cinemas, our record is stored in this row. So all of these fields, such as distributor ID, company name, street address, each record has a field that may or may not have data in it. So All Night Cinemas does not have a second street address, so it doesn't have any information in that. So what this activity, I'm now looking on page 6, and they say to click on a different table. So I'm on orders, and notice I can toggle in between these 2 objects and see that data listed, those records. On this orders table, I look down here at the bottom, and I have 15 order records related to my orders group. So anyway, on activity 1.2, page 8, they have us looking at queries. So they say open up the orders by city query. So what a query is something specific, like to answer a question. So in this question, I can see my list of orders by the city that they're in. So I have here the city field and then the orders. Now for each of these objects, I'm going to close and go back just to my US distributors table. I have different views. So this is the front end view that someone would use to enter data into. I can make that larger so we can see. And now I have also the design view. So if I click up here on my home tab, I have a views group. If I click that compass protractor pencil looking button, it takes me to the design view. This is that back end view that allows me to work on the back end, like creating the formatting for it. And then, so I'm creating the fields and I'm doing specific properties for that specific field. And then go back up here to data sheet view, and then I can see those records of the data. I might need to adjust the size. So that's what this section has you working with. You're going to be adjusting columns, finding and editing records, adding records in, and you're working all the way through 1.11, which is the end of this section that stops on page 29. And then you're going to send me that file. So you can just go File, and you can actually just hit Save. It actually saves automatically, just as long as you know where it is. Or you can go to Save As, save it where you know where it's going to be, and then make sure that you name it something that you know that's going to be relevant so that you can upload it into the Dropbox. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.